Alright, the following is a message from the haters of The Last Jedi. A lot of times we're put out there as a bunch of haters, as a bunch of whiners that didn't get their Snoke theories answered exactly the way they wanted to. You know, nothing could be further than the truth for most of us. Of course, there are those neckbeards out there who just aren't satisfied with anything. But let me assure you that we are not among them. I'm sure that like a lot of you, I went over to that theater really expecting something special. This was the return of Luke Skywalker to the screen after literally 30, 40 years of absence. I couldn't have been more excited. I literally skipped up to that movie theater just so happy. I felt like I was going to be Rey, where I held out the lightsaber, and I was excited to see what Master Skywalker had to share with me. You know, we're in our dark hour, we need help. And what's he going to tell us? What's he going to teach me? Because this is my buddy Luke, and I saw him with Yoda. I saw him redeem Vader. He was like the coolest kid. And it was something just the normal kids could relate to. He just wanted to go to the damn Tashi station. It was really cool. And then she holds out that lightsaber to him, and I knew that this was the exact moment of cinema history where we were going to see what this Jedi Master was going to teach us and what kind of hope he would bring to the galaxy. Yeah, and so, but what did happen was profoundly disappointing, especially given that missed opportunity. He takes the lightsaber, hardly regards it, and just throws it over his shoulder like it's garbage. Like he doesn't even care. He walks on. This is his father's lightsaber. Now I can understand, even if Luke is completely lost, cut off from the Force, I would think there'd be some kind of affection for the father that he redeemed. Oh, well, they didn't have a relationship. But dude, he put himself at terrible risk. He strode into the Emperor's throne room, giving himself up to two Dark Lords of the Sith who had an iron grip upon the galaxy. And then what happens? He takes that lightsaber, a reminder of that struggle, of that victory, of that great moment in the Force, in the galaxy, politically, every kind of significance there can be. And he just completely throws it out. Now, I can understand him not caring, but the fact that he doesn't acknowledge it at all. He could have said, you know what, Rey, the sword is not what's important. You know, all this stuff, all this lineage doesn't matter. What matters is what you do with the Force, with your gifts. It doesn't matter your lineage. It doesn't matter about this symbol. What matters is something better and more profound. I learned that when Ben Solo fell to the dark side of the Force, and then you can go into a new, innovative way. But instead what we got was total nihilism. Instead what we got was a total disregard for the lore, for the spirit of hope and decency and strength in the Star Wars franchise. Now, some of you might say, and I've heard these arguments before, like, oh, well, towards the end, after he talks to Yoda, that, and after he sees Rey and has a meditation session with her, that he ends up coming around to that same thing. But I think that proves the point even more, that there wasn't a lot of character growth for Luke, because he'd already had his hero's journey. He'd already had his trial when he redeemed Vader, when he faced the Emperor, when he overcame the desire for power, of vengeance, of his own anger, and instead turned to love and said, I am a Jedi like my father before me. That was the end of Luke's heroic journey. And then he was to, in turn, pass on what he has learned and give back his gifts to the community, the galaxy at large. And so the problem with that is, as a classic story in The Last Jedi, they take all that away from him. Now he's back to being a hermit. He has regressed in his character, far from being the hopeful and naive. You know, he's nihilistic, which can make sense in a realistic sense. Yeah, the people who go the highest can fall the farthest. I hear that. But then what's funny is at the end when he says, oh, the rebellion is reborn today. You know, like that whole thing where he's back on track. He's really just where he was at the end of the Return of the Jedi anyway. So really you had this whole nonsense of him losing Ben Solo and the Jedi falling again, another Order 66, another New Hope kind of happens, and then we're right back where we started. So you break down Luke, chew him up, spit him out, and make him this weird nihilist guy when just to bring him back to where he was at the Return of the Jedi. It's repetitive. It doesn't bring anything new. It just kind of upsets the whole character. And I know a lot of you guys are disappointed like I was. And I didn't need something to work out the way I wanted. I didn't care about my Snoke theory. I didn't want it to be gray Jedi. I didn't have anything specific. I just wanted literally anything new from Luke. I wanted him to say anything about the Jedi. And when he did, I actually liked it. I liked when he said that Darth Sidious took over right under their noses. The legacy was failure. And I liked that acknowledgement that the Jedi of old had their problems. I liked that he said that just because the Jedi die, the light dies. That's arrogance. I think that's great. I think that's very interesting. But then he goes straight to these other nihilistic ideas. He doesn't really teach Rey anything. And I was just hoping for my Luke to come and show me something. I wanted to hang out with him. And it was good. You know, I heard a really good way of putting this. Like sometimes you see your friends that are in a band at the bar. And they're saying, hey, we're playing at the bar this next night. Come and see us. And you're like, all right, fine. It's my friend. I'll go see it. So you go see your friend at the bar. And his band kind of sucks. You know, whatever. He's a garage band. But you know what? You cheer for your friend anyway. Because, woo, that's my friend up there. His song sucks. But woo, that's my buddy. And it was kind of like that with The Last Jedi. It's like, you know what, this kind of sucks. Luke's not playing the songs, I know. It's kind of sad, but hey, that's my boy Mark Hamill. That's my boy Luke. Love him to death. So anyway, that's my message from the haters. You know, leave some comments down below if you want, but that's just how I'm feeling about it. I know a lot of you probably feel the same way. If you don't, if you disagree, feel free to disagree. Feel free to dislike. Feel free to like, subscribe. I'll be saying some more stuff, but I'd love to have these conversations with you. Anyway, I'll talk to you dudes later. And girls.